Hello YouTube, Fuzzfinger here, and today in Final Fantasy XII we're going to be making our way through Jahara, the land of the Garif. So if you enjoy watching, don't forget to hit the like button and be subscribed to the Fuzzfinger Gaming YouTube channel. In the last episode I showed you how to get the awesome weapon that is the XII bow, and this thing is absolutely overpowered. Many would consider using it as a bad thing because it basically trivialises the entire game. Not only does it give you a massive boost to your damage, as you can see by the attack power there for Fran, but that evade as well. Well, let's just say if you like seeing the number 0 show up on the screen when enemies hit you, then that weapon is going to be your friend. But for the sake of this walkthrough, I've shown you how to get it, but I'm not going to be using it. So do check out that last episode that should be available on my channel by the time you're watching this. It's not a numbered episode, but it is in the playlist for this series if you want to find out how you can go ahead and get that yourself. You can even get multiple copies of it if you want to deck out your entire team. It doesn't even need any jobs or licenses to use. So you can just literally get 6 of them, throw them on your party, and just decimate everything in your path. And I do mean pretty much everything, especially if you combi that thing with oil and fire arrows. Woo-hoo, we're talking some serious carnage then. But for the sake, as I say, of this walkthrough, I'm not going to trivialise the content because not everybody's going to want to do that. And I still want to share with you actual realistic tactics for the bosses and that we're going to be facing ahead of us. So let's just throw our normal equipment back on for now as we make our way through. But you do have that teleport stone there in case there's anything else you want to go and do before proceeding on today. And we're going to start by visiting the dude here, Gertie, who's just going to give us a little bit of information about chocobos, but I'm not going to hire one for the time being. But that little guy is there if you need them. And then we've got the Cartographers Guild, so we should be able to buy a map or 2. And we should have the guild at this point as well to do so. Well, I have, and you should as well. And we'll go ahead and buy the Jahara map as well while we're here. Thank you very much. And then we're going to go and speak to the Garif warrior here to advance the story. Yeah, humans in this game, by the way, are called Humes. So here we have the war chief of this people. Yeah, I don't mind if I do. Past that is the bridge, of course. And this guy has introduced himself now as Supinello, or Supinello, or something along those lines anyhow. The Hume world. Yeah, come on Hume, answer the man. So obviously the map has been explored for us. And if we just head over here, we can see there is a vendor known as the Garif Trader. We can go ahead and sell our stuff that we don't need, but also he might have some equipment for us that we can have a look at. Some of it might be useful. A lot of it we've actually been able to collect from treasures and chests, and that we haven't doesn't mean that it hasn't been available in treasures and chests, just that it hasn't spawned for us. But go ahead and see if there's any upgrades you want to get while you're here. Once our equipment is sorted, our next stop is to the northeast, so we're going to head up here next and say hello to these folks that are just hanging around by this next bridge here. But the one we want to talk to is the war chief himself. And he wants to know if we've heard of the stones. Well, in fact, we haven't. So let's see if there's anybody else we can chat to here. Oh yeah, we want to speak to the High Chief Zayelu, and he'll advance for us, as in the story. More Humes. Okay, so now we're supposed to talk to the other High Chief. And he passes something along. I guess we're a message service. Feel like I'm playing an MMO now. I'll go and walk the 50 feet needed to actually get this thing to this guy. Oh, thanks Altair for the subscription. So we're going to give him the Jaya stick. And then we have to tell him that we would like to meet this great chief. Okay, so it looks like Ash has allowed us to have access to the Great Chief. Say hello to some of these other guys around here. I have got a hunt, you see, that I still haven't done. And we need to speak to one of the NPCs around here. But they might not be available. Yeah, I'm just going to have a look. It's this one here. No, it's not that one. Which one is it? This one. Number 7, the defence of Osmone Plain. We're looking for Low Chief Sagumu, who apparently is in the next area. So we'll just go ahead and move across there now. Let's see if they're already out and about. Aha! Yes, I'll go ahead and accept your hunt. Righty-ho, so we've gone ahead and accepted that for when we're next in the Osmone Plain, which won't be too long in the future, in all honesty. I'm just going to see exactly how far into the plain that actually is, so I know when we go then how far we need to move across. Righty-ho. So it's in some of the section that we haven't yet explored by the looks of it. But we will be. We will be. Anyway, approach this section here and we'll kick off the next cutscene here, where we must agree to meet with the Great Chief.
This nethicite, you have used it.
It was not I who used it. Indeed, I had hoped you could show me how. Thus I've come.
You do not know the workings of the stone. Then we are no different.
What?
In ages past, the gods made a gift of nethicite to my people. But the manner of its use eluded us. Displeased by our failure, the gods took back their stones. They chose instead to give them to a Yum king. Called the Dynast King, he used the Nethicite's power to bring peace to a troubled time. It is a curious thing. Though the blood of King Wraithwall flow through your veins, you cannot wield Nethicite.
Cannot wield it? So then, am I to understand you can't tell me how to use the stone?
Though it shame me so to admit, here before me stands a descendant of the Dynast King himself, and I can accord her no help at all. Still, even if you knew how to use the Nethicite, you would find it of small avail. The mist collected in the stone over ages past is lost, and with it, the stone's power. It will be your posterity who wield the stone in ages yet to come. This stone is devoid of power, empty, yet full of thirst, a terrible longing to drink the world dry. The power of men and of magic, of good and of evil. It is often those who desire Nethicite whom the Nethicite itself desires.
Larsa? To Baromi says.
I say we ought leave tomorrow. I was going to wait for my escort to return, but meeting you here has presented a great opportunity. This terrible war can be stopped, but I will need your help to do so.
A war?
You know the Marquis Ondor leads a group of insurgents. Your pardon. He leads a large resistance force against the Empire. Lady Ash, neither of our countries can afford this now. The Rosarian Empire would stir. They would aid the resistance and use this aid as a pretext to declare war on Arcadia, and Arcadia would have no choice but to answer. Lady Ash, let us go to Ber Omases. With the blessing of His Grace, the Grand Kiltius Anastasis, you may rightly wear your crown and declare the restoration of the Kingdom of Dalmasca. As Queen, you can call for peace between the Empire and Dalmasca and stop Marquis Ondor.
For peace? How dare you say that? The Empire attacked us, stole all we hold dear, and you would have me save them from war?
Dalmasca would be the battlefield. What if Nethicite were used on Rabanasta? You know my brother would do this. Forgive me. I presumed overmuch. I could think of no other way to avoid bloodshed. If you cannot trust me, then please, take me as your hostage.
Rustler.
You saw him, didn't you? Like at the King's tomb.
So you did see him too. But why?
It's strange. Before, I didn't even know what you looked like. And the prince? I barely knew there was a prince. Who knows? Maybe the person I saw was my brother.
Bosch told me about him.
He enlisted right at the end. But for what? He knew he couldn't win.
To protect something.
How can he protect anything when he's dead? Was it different for Prince Rastler? Did that make sense? Hating the Empire, getting revenge, it's all I ever thought about. But I never did anything about it. I mean, I realized there was nothing I could do. It made me feel hollow, alone. And then I'd miss my brother. I'd say stuff like, I'm gonna be a sky pirate, or some other stupid thing. Just anything to keep my mind off it. I was running away. I needed to get away from his death. That's why I followed you. You know what? I'm through with it. I'm through running. I'm ready to find my purpose. To find some real answers. Some reasons. If I stick with you, I think I will.
I wish I knew.
I'll find him.
Some lengthy events here, and thank you, Bobby, for your subscription. Looks like we're going to be setting out in a moment or two.
You to Mount Baromises.
I had hoped you'd say yes. I'm glad.
My heart is not set. I still have questions. I hope to find answers along the way.
I had other reason to invite you. There is someone I'd like you to meet, waiting on Baromises.
Who is that?
An enemy, and an ally also. You will just have to wait and see for yourself.
That Larsa likes his secrets.
He does not mean ill by it.
He's not bad. At least for an Imperial.
Holy Mount Baromises stands at the northern end of the Yacht Remuda. Once we're in Yacht, we need not fear pursuit by their airships.
Don't get your hopes up. You remember the Leviathan sailed straight over the Yacht right up to Wraithel's tomb. Skystone that works even in Yacht. You know, Nethersight's behind it. Little wonder they're so keen on the stuff.
And what is it you're after, Balthier? You're a welcome hand and a great aid, but why?
Worried I'm out to steal the Nethersight, eh? Can't say I'm unaccustomed to people doubting my intentions. Nothing could be further from my mind. Shall I swear by your sword or some such?
Apologies, but I needed to know where you stand. Her Majesty depends on you, and you seem to have an interest in the stone.
I'm only here to see how the story unfolds. Any self-respecting leading man would do the same.
And finally, we're about to get control back of the party after nearly 10 minutes of event scenes. So Larsa has now joined the party. And just as we're leaving here, the War Chief is going to give us a weapon for a gift. We get a recurve crossbow and a quiver of onion bolts. And we get told that we can rent a chocobo for free, but only for the first time use. I'm sure we'll take them up on the offer, so we can actually get to explore the chocobo system in this game. But I think we're going to finish off here, and then we'll pick up next time. We'll probably have a go at doing the hunt as well that I was just looking at. If you've enjoyed watching, guys, don't forget to let me know in the comments section, hit the like button, and then come back soon and we'll continue on with the walkthrough for Final Fantasy XII. Cheers all, take care.